The Cape Romain Lighthouses, located on Lighthouse Island southeast of McClellanville, South Carolina, are historical beacons that have guided mariners for nearly 2 centuries. Beyond their navigational significance, these lighthouses are enveloped in tales of mystery and hauntings, making them intriguing subjects of both historical and supernatural interest. The necessity for a lighthouse at Cape Romain arose from the treacherous shoals extending 7 to 9 miles off the coast, which posed significant hazards to maritime navigation. In response, the first lighthouse was constructed in 1827 under the direction of Winslow Lewis. This conical brick tower stood 65 feet tall and featured a stationary red light powered by whale oil lamps. Despite its construction, mariners reported that the light was inadequate, often visible only within a range of 9 to 14 nautical miles, which limited its effectiveness in preventing shipwrecks. To address these shortcomings, a second, more powerful lighthouse was commissioned and completed in 1857. This new tower reached a height of 161 feet and was equipped with a first-order Fresnel lens, significantly enhancing its visibility. However, during construction, it was noted that the tower had a slight lean toward the mainland, a structural anomaly that has persisted over the years. The lighthouses have withstood various challenges over the years, including the Civil War, during which they were extinguished to prevent their use by Union forces, and the devastating earthquake of 1886, which, despite causing significant tremors, left the structures largely unscathed. The Cape Romain lighthouses are not only historical landmarks, but also centers of numerous ghostly tales and legends. One of the most enduring stories involves a lighthouse keeper named Andrew Johnson and the mysterious death of his wife in 1873. According to accounts, Johnson's wife died under suspicious circumstances, leading to speculation and rumors of foul play. Some versions of the story suggest that Johnson murdered his wife to claim her inheritance, while others propose that her death was a tragic accident or suicide. This incident has fueled stories of her restless spirit haunting the lighthouse grounds. Visitors and staff have reported unexplained phenomena, such as disembodied footsteps echoing in the tower and sudden drops in temperature. These occurrences contribute to the lighthouse's reputation as haunted sites. Another chilling tale involves reports of drops of blood mysteriously appearing on the floorboards of the lighthouse, adding to the lore of supernatural occurrences associated with the site. Today, the Cape Romain lighthouses are part of the Cape Romain National Wildlife Refuge, established in 1932. Efforts have been made to preserve these historic structures, though challenges persist due to their exposure to harsh coastal elements and limited funding for restoration. The lighthouses were listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1981, recognizing their historical and architectural significance. Public interest in the lighthouses remains high, not only for their historical value, but also due to the eerie legends that surround them. Guided tours are occasionally offered, providing visitors with insights into the rich history and spectral stories associated with these maritime sentinels. In conclusion, the Cape Romain lighthouses stand as enduring symbols of South Carolina's maritime heritage. Their storied past, marked by tales of tragedy and mystery, continues to captivate the imagination of historians and ghost enthusiasts alike. The need for a lighthouse on Little Ross Island became evident in the early 19th century due to the increasing maritime traffic and the perilous nature of the surrounding waters. Local figures, including Captain James Skelly and solicitor John C. Mackenzie, championed the cause, emphasizing the area's hazardous conditions and the frequency of shipwrecks. Their persistent efforts culminated in the approval for the lighthouse's construction in 1840. Renowned engineer Alan Stevenson, a member of the illustrious Stevenson family, known for their contributions to Scottish lighthouse design, was commissioned for the project. Construction commenced in 1841, with materials transported from nearby locales such as Kirkcudbright and Port Macadam and Gatehouse. The lighthouse was completed on schedule, and its light was first exhibited on January 1st, 1843. Notably, it was among the first to employ a cat-eye dioptric system, utilizing both lenses and mirrors to enhance its beam, a feature that garnered acclaim from physicist William Thomson, later known as Lord Kelvin. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, Little Ross Island was more than just a workplace for lighthouse keepers, it was their home. The island accommodated the principal keeper, an assistant, and occasionally their families. At its peak, the island was home to up to 16 residents, including children. To sustain themselves, the inhabitants maintained a small dairy and piggery, reflecting a self-sufficient lifestyle necessitated by the island's isolation. The keepers' duties were rigorous and unrelenting. They were responsible for maintaining the light, ensuring the machinery was in working order, and keeping meticulous records. The isolation and monotony of the job required individuals of strong character and resilience. Despite the challenges, many keepers found solace in the island's serene environment and the close-knit community they formed. The tranquility of Little Ross Island was shattered in August 1960 by a tragic event that would etch its name into infamy. During the principal keeper's leave, two relief keepers, Hugh Clark and Robert Dixon, were stationed on the island. On August 18th, David Collin and his father, Thomas, visited the island for a picnic. Upon arrival, they noticed an eerie silence and the absence of the keepers. Their concern deepened when they heard an unanswered telephone ringing persistently. Investigating further, they discovered Hugh Clark's lifeless body in one of the cottages, a towel wrapped around his head, concealing a fatal gunshot wound. Robert Dixon was conspicuously absent, prompting a nationwide manhunt. He was eventually apprehended in Yorkshire and stood trial for Clark's murder. The court found Dixon guilty, and he was initially sentenced to death. A sentence later commuted to life imprisonment. Tragically, Dixon took his own life 2 years into his sentence. The murder had profound implications for the operation of the lighthouse. In 1961, just a year after the incident, the lighthouse was automated, eliminating the need for full-time on-site keepers. This transition marked the end of an era for Little Ross Island, as the once vibrant community of keepers and their families departed, leaving the island largely uninhabited. The 1960 murder cast a long shadow over Little Ross Island, giving rise to rumors and tales of hauntings. The notion of a haunted lighthouse is not uncommon, as such structures, often isolated and steeped in history, naturally lend themselves to folklore. However, those who knew Hugh Clark described him as a gentle and kind individual, suggesting that if his spirit lingers, it would be a benevolent presence. Despite the island's dark chapter, many who have visited or lived on Little Ross speak of its tranquil beauty and serene atmosphere. The juxtaposition of its picturesque landscape with its tragic history adds a layer of complexity to its narrative, making it a place of both reflection and intrigue. In July 2017, Little Ross Island was listed for sale at £325,000, a price comparable to a modest apartment in Edinburgh. The sale included a 6-bedroom cottage and several outbuildings, but excluded the lighthouse itself, which remains under the management of the Northern Lighthouse Board. The listing attracted significant attention, not only for the opportunity to own a private island,